Hey guys, Jordan with TYT Politics. Hope you're doing well. Coming to you from my car. I am on Long Island helping out my dear mother who hurt her back. So, being a good son today. I wanted to talk about something that's really rubbing me the wrong way, and that would be the fact that the media and the politicians, they only seem to care when weapons, specifically chemical weapons, are used in other countries, Syria, for example, but when they're used on United States citizens, unarmed people, have you heard anything? So let me be clear. Sarin gas is the chemical weapon used in Syria. I'm not equating sarin gas, which is just unbelievably disgusting, deadly, as we've seen with the horrific images in Syria. I'm not comparing sarin gas to things like tear gas or things like pepper spray or any of those things. That is up front. Because I wrote a tweet last night and people thought, oh, I'm with you sort of, but sarin gas is very different than tear gas. I agree. But the bottom line is, tear gas, which was used on unarmed water protectors in North Dakota for about 6 or 7 months, was declared a chemical weapon in 1993, if you didn't know that. It is banned in warfare. So somehow tear gas is a chemical weapon is banned to use in war, but with the exception of police departments. Police departments can use tear gas, a chemical weapon that has the ability to blind people, as we've seen in North Dakota. There was a tear gas canister tossed within a few feet of, not feet, a few yards of a few water protectors, and it hit one water protector. Her name was Vanessa Dundun, and she lost eyesight in one eye. So, again, not equating tear gas with sarin gas. One will pretty much instantly kill you. The other one could kill you long term. But I know many, many people that were in Standing Rock who have been tear gassed multiple times and by extension have health issues. And if you do your research, tear gas, too much exposure to tear gas can lead to organ failure. But I didn't see any politicians other than Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard, Raul Grijalva saying anything about the chemical weapons on unarmed Americans in North Dakota. I didn't hear anything. But Syria, everybody rushes to the camera, and we rightly so. I'm not saying we shouldn't condemn chemical weapons released on innocent people with killing, an ungodly amount of people in Syria. And no, I'm not going to say whether it was 100% Assad, because yesterday the defense secretary came forward saying it's no doubt, it's Assad, without providing the incontrovertible evidence that it was Assad. I love the media who keeps putting forth, confirmed, Assad gassed his people without evidence. It kind of sounds like, weapons of mass destruction, slam dunk. Remember that? The Bush administration said WMD is slam dunk. How'd that turn out? Assad might have gassed his people, but you got to use your common sense head here. Assad has basically won the war. He's defeated the rebels. The rebels are completely defeated, essentially. So why would he suddenly gas his people? I'm not defending him. I think he's a brutal dictator. So what I'm getting at is there is a selective horror and outrage machine among U.S. politicians and the corporate media that fixate on other countries when they see gross, ghastly images. Like I reported yesterday, apparently Ivanka Trump was so horrified and outraged by the images she saw in Syria that her outrage and horror potentially swayed her father into launching 59 Tomahawk missiles on Syria. I didn't hear anything from Ivanka about North Dakota. Ferguson, Missouri, tear gas was deployed there. countless other large-scale protests around the country of tear gas, pepper spray. We saw in North Dakota grenades launched by police. So the hypocrisy, the inconsistency, and the inconsistent humanity. But why is it? Why is it? Why are they inconsistent? What is the source reason that no brave Republicans or establishment Democrats come out when it's in North Dakota, for example? People, social media had the message out there. These politicians don't live under a rock. They knew what was going on there. Why is it? Well, wait till this Saturday when you see the quarterly donations and fundraising information come out this Saturday. Ted Cruz has raised $1.7 million. Heidi Heitkamp has raised, I believe, $1.6 million in the first 3 months of the year, what they call the first quarter. And I would bet my bottom dollar they took in a lot of money from big oil. Not just them. Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Dick Durbin, Steny Hoyer, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. So let's look what kind of people are donating to these brave souls who say nothing when tear gas is deployed on American citizens. Maybe because they can't speak out against their big daddy donors. Who, by the way, Energy Transfer Partners, in the case of North Dakota, was literally offering to pay for the police department's tear gas, pepper spray, grenades, overtime. So the oil company was pretty much saying, we'll pay our private police, our public police force, because the North Dakota sheriff and Morton County police became essentially a state police force for a private oil company. So the trolls could say, Jordan, you don't understand reality, and yada yada. Again, this is not a video to say sarin gas is the equivalent of tear gas. They're not. One will kill you right away. I understand that. But what I am saying is go get shot with tear gas in the face a few times. See how your health is after that. Go research it. Tear gas is literally a chemical weapon banned in warfare. Yet nobody has said a word. Have you heard anything from Chuck Schumer on North Dakota and the police terrorism that went on there? You heard anything from Nancy Pelosi, from Debbie Wasserman Schultz, from Cory Booker? In fairness, Cory Booker did want some kind of investigation into police, so I'll give him that. Didn't say much more than that. On this guy, Adam Schiff, who's been the leading Democrat on the Russia probe. Didn't hear anything from him. I didn't hear anything from Kamala Harris when she was a candidate for U.S. Senate. I heard a lot from Bernie Sanders. I heard a lot from Tulsi Gabbard. I heard a lot from Raul Grijalva. I heard from Keith Ellison. Tear gas is a chemical weapon that was deployed for 6 months on unarmed environmental activists and Native Americans in North Dakota. And the media loves to talk. The media and the politicians love to talk. We cannot normalize Trump. We can't normalize his racism, his xenophobia. We can't act like he's just another president. I agree with that. But there's been a normalization of police terrorism on unarmed people. And let me tell you something. There were photographers in North Dakota. There were documentarians in North Dakota. Josh Fox is out with a new documentary now on Standing Rock. The images were flying around the internet of people being tear gassed. So the images and the information were out there for Ivanka Trump and President Trump, then candidate Trump, and the Democratic politicians going forward and talking about these grisly photos. It was all out there. Problem is, politicians and the media close their eyes when big oil and special interests are the ones shooting off the tear gas. So, I am not the type that is going to close my eyes and not remind you. I think one of the most important things an actual journalist can do is point out when other journalists are full of shit and being hypocrites and contradicting themselves and inconsistent and not reporting the facts. Go ask Vanessa Dondon if she thinks tear gas is a chemical weapon. Go ask Sophia Lewinsky, who had an arm nearly ripped off and amputated by a grenade. A grenade is not a chemical weapon, but did you hear much in CNN, in the New York Times, about this poor woman? The New York Times did a story saying, oh, we don't really know what happened, even though there's video evidence that police shot it at her. So, to the trolls, I invite your hatred, as FDR once said. But look it up. It's one of the first things you'll find on Google. Tear gas, a chemical weapon banned in war. Not a peep about the tear gas that was deployed in North Dakota. And by the way, I just did a report a few days ago. Police departments in Nebraska have been purchasing the same type of non-lethal military equipment in preparation for protests against the Keystone XL pipeline. So this is coming to a town near you if you're going to Keystone. This kind of stuff is going to continue until the media, the people who consume media, and the politicians stop allowing it and stop allowing it to be normalized. Tear gas is a chemical weapon that should not be used on unarmed or armed people. And by the way, two things could be true. I think sarin gas is god-awful. Again, not equating the two. It is way more lethal than tear gas. But we can't be fixated and horrified by one level of chemical weapons and the awful images we're seeing over there and turn a blind eye when lower level chemical weapons are used on our citizens. Not on my watch. You can follow me at Jordan Chariton. That's JordanChariton. You could also like my Facebook page. I put up a story that I wrote for Mediaite.com on the corporate media industrial complex hitting a roadblock when it comes to Russia. They can't quite usher their propaganda on Russia as smoothly and succinctly as they used to, because apparently President Trump, if he is a puppet for Russia, is doing a pretty bad job of that. So go check that out on my Facebook page. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of the day.